Impressive effort from our team today. Obviously when you shoot 70% from three, things tend to go really well. Some of that's got to be some luck, but I really thought we moved the basketball well. I thought we executed very well in both halves, but I just thought we moved the basketball. We got good shots. We were open. Rachel was on the back end of a lot of those and shot the ball well. Addie late with I thought a really, really tough shot, but she was incredible. And I thought defensively at key points, I thought we were really good. I thought we forced some turnovers during that second quarter, and then a little bit with the press later in the game. And I thought when we were really good, we were forcing turnovers and we took care of the basketball. We had a really, really bad stretch with regard to taking care of the basketball in that first quarter. Just really, really not like us, especially in the second half of the first quarter. And then that settled. And I thought we kind of figured some things out. And then, the press came on, and I just... as a coach, you had to take some responsibility for that and kind of who we had out there and what we had going on. So some of that falls on me. But I thought when we took care of the basketball, you see that, right? We shot 60% from the field, shot 70% from three. When you do that, things tend to go pretty well for you.
Talk about the three-point shooting. I think against URI, you were like 11 for 20, 11 for 21. And today you're 13 of 19. The last two games in particular, you shot the three ball really, really well.
Well, and I think usually that's related pretty well with our ball movement. And I think when we move the basketball, you have 5 players out there that shoot the ball, trying. And you got 5 players out there that shoot the ball really well. This is what I have to put up with all the time. You got 5 players out there that shoot the basketball. I thought we just moved the ball really, really well. And, on the back end of it, almost didn't matter who it was. We just had people that were open.
You had the big win at URI, maybe a little bit bigger margin than you expected there. And it seemed like that carried over today. By and large, not that you haven't played good games all season, but these last two, Spiders have kind of hit their stride a little bit.
Yeah, and I think, one leads to the other, right? I think we got some bounce from how we played Wednesday and maybe some confidence, but I think you just kind of had a little bit of a swagger and aura to that. And, for a stretch when we were kind of whatever we were, 5-1, 5-0, 7-0, we were winning games, but, we weren't winning with the same margins that we are right now. And, I think you had to make sure that, hey, we didn't peak when we were 7-0, that you had to keep getting better. And I think that's something we've really preached to our team is it's not so much what the record is, it's how well you're playing at the end of the season. And we had to fix some things defensively. I think we tweaked some things with rotation and how we're playing, and I think that's led to some good offensive basketball, but I think we've been a lot better defensively too. Today it felt rough. And anytime you're having a team shoot 43s, that can be difficult living. But again, overall, you hold a team like that, the firepower they have, the 33% shooting, you have to be happy.
A little bit about your sparks off the bench. I mean, Rachel came in, gave you a big boost. Van Arsdale came in. It seems like it's not a question of if you're going to get a spark off the bench, but when. And that seems to be one of the foundations of this team.
Yeah, and again today, I think when it's a crazy stat, but out of the two of them, I think we were 11 of our first 12, with them from the field. So I thought they gave us some length. I thought LV did some things defensively, but I thought Rachel was outstanding defensively. Got her hands on a lot of balls. I think she had four or five steals there today, and again, she was a product a little bit of us moving the basketball. Some of that was against the pressure. Some of that was her taking care of things after a turnover. I thought we had some live ball turnovers in that second quarter that got us probably built us that lead a little bit. But when you can bring those two off the bench, and I think a few others, Faye a little bit today, but I thought Faye was outstanding. Really, the last game against Rhode Island. Both games against Rhode Island, and she's a big piece for us moving forward.
Yeah, Rachel was 9 for 10 today from the floor, but even bigger was her steals. She had 4 length of the court steals for layups. I mean, that's 8 points.
Yeah, that's efficient, man. And I think that's what we talk about. We've talked about if we can maybe trigger some more live ball turnovers with our defense, maybe we can get some more things offensively. Not that we were in a rut by any stretch offensively, but I just thought if we could move the basketball and maybe get some easier shots, and then today, again, like we keep talking about the shooting percentage, but to score 83 points against a team that we have a lot of respect for defensively was about as much as you could ask for.
Okay, let's look ahead to later on in the week. You travel to VCU. They have 2 losses in the league. You have one. Kind of a battle for first place.
Yeah, and there's no rest anywhere here. I've kind of been giving our guys a hard time, and a few others across the country a hard time that are at the top of their standings, but have a little more wiggle room than what we have. And that's the nature of this conference this year. And I know there's some matchups coming up among kind of the top 4 or 5 teams that are going to maybe ding some losses on a few people, but I don't say two contrasting styles, but I think they've really, really hung their hat on their defense this year, and I'm pretty sure they're the number 1 scoring defense in the country, so that's going to be a challenge. They've got some pretty good players over there too, so it's not just their defense and they're playing ugly basketball. I think they're playing really, really well. They've got some scorers around the perimeter right there that is really, really hard to match up with, really, really hard to guard. And they're going to be hungry. I think that's probably a game that they feel that they let slip away when they were here last time. And, an exciting game. I think hopefully an exciting game. If you have nothing else to do on Valentine's Day, man, late plans, come on out to the Siegel Center and watch some really high-quality basketball here in town.
You guys have some road win confidence. I mean, you won at URI last game. You went up to St. Joe's and won. You have played tough teams on the road and come away with W's. That has to help.
Well, and we knew that going in. We were done no favors when that schedule came out. It wasn't so much, to play GW twice, VCU twice, Rhode Island twice, and Duquesne twice. Like, those are like just 4 really, really tough ones. But in addition to that, you look across for whatever the preseason, prognostications were, a lot of those top teams you were playing on the road. So we felt if we knew for us to have success this year, you're going to have to win on the road. And fortunately for us, we've been able to do that. And I do think that's given us some confidence moving forward.
Just talk about the win. You had the big win at URI earlier in the week, and you follow that up with another strong performance today.
We knew we had a big task going up to Rhode Island last week, so coming home with that win felt pretty good. But then coming in here, it's our home floor. We have to defend our home floor, and we knew GW was a big task too. So we just locked in on defense, got stops when we needed to, and I think we moved the ball really well, which got us a lot of open shots. So that was really good for us.
Against URI, the team was 11 for 21 from 3. Today, you were 13 of 19. The 3 ball is fallen for the Richmond Spiders.
Yes, for sure. I mean, we practice a lot, and in practice we're always doing 3s and 3 or getting shots up, so we're ready, prepared, and ready to shoot it. We have to.
Okay, Rachel, 9 for 10 today. Just talk about your day. Coming off the bench, you, Van Arsdale, actually multiple players. It seems like game in and game out, there's always somebody that comes off the bench and provides a spark.
Yeah, I think coming off the bench and just providing that spark is very important because, again, everyone's always looking at the starting 5, what are they doing? So it's always good to just try to add a little extra spice, I guess, to the game and just have us win and push the ball up the transition and get open shots and just, play well.
You have a unique talent to size up the pass, steal it, and go length of the floor for a layup. You did that 4 times today. Do you know what obviously you know what you're looking for, but talk a little bit about what goes into that.
I just kind of read their eyes, and I know if there's someone next to me, I know she's probably going to pass, so I'll kind of put my hand out, and I guess I'm kind of long, so I just usually tip it to myself and just go score, get on the other end.
How helpful is that to get basically plenty points?
Yeah, it's easy.
You steal it, you guys take it, you get
wide open.
Today you got 8 points out of it, or even more.
Yeah.
How helpful is that?
Very helpful. It's just easy. You just hit it yourself, and it's all you. Just score.
Okay, both of you, later on this week, you go to VCU. They have 2 losses in the league. You had 1 game here was a tough one.
Yeah.
Just talk about going to play the Rams.
Everyone in Richmond knows that the Richmond-VCU rivalry is a big thing in town. So we know, thinking of the last game, they were up for a while and we came back. We brought that spark that last quarter and pulled away at the end. But they played well too. So we know going there, it's their home court, so they're going to have a little bit of a little chip on their shoulder. So we just have to come in and know what we're doing, no personnel, lock down on what we want to do, and just play our game.
Exactly.
Road confidence. You won at St. Joe's earlier in the year. You won at URI. Maybe in past years Richmond has struggled a little bit on the road, but this year, this team, you guys ought to have road confidence, right?
Yeah, for sure. We haven't really.
Road wins are huge. as a home team, you always want to defend your home floor. So like going to other teams' home court, it's more difficult than playing at home. So we're excited. We know they're gonna do everything in their power to try and stop us. So we're gonna bring that same energy, and we're gonna be ready to play on Wednesday.
Looking ahead towards the end of the season, A-10 tournament, Maggie as a starter, Rachel off the bench. How does it feel to have such a lengthy bench playing against these top teams? What does it feel like? Sort of like an extensive bench heading towards.
I mean, I feel like it's good because, again, like I mentioned earlier, like everyone's always looking at the starting five or like people off, like just in general, of having people off the bench that can provide and like bring positive like energy and just passing or like open like cutting, stuff like that. Just always going to benefit our team, and just I think it's good for us. It's hard to scout as well because they don't know who's going to have a great game, who's going to do this or like step up in certain areas. It's hard to tell.
Exactly, and kind of going off of that, I feel like a lot of teams when we're scouting, you focus on the first five. But with us, we got Rachel coming off the bench. You got LV, you got Faye, you got Torn. You got a lot of people that you have to scout when you're going against us. So I think we're difficult to scout and try and figure out, especially with our offense too. So I think that benefits us a lot.
And this is kind of starts the big push. I mean, you fought everybody off during the regular season so far. You're coming down to your last 6 or 7, 5 A-10 games. You've been in first place all year. I'm sure you guys don't want to give that up.
No, obviously not. We just take it one game at a time. We're not really looking at the rankings or looking at the A-10 tournament play. We're just taking it one game at a time. We were focused on GW the past couple of days, so now we're focusing on VCU. So that's really all we're worried about.